Welcome to this Friday's session of Balancing Life. My name is Bethany Eigel, and I am by default going to host this morning. Crystal is busy balancing her own life and work today, and Herman is here with me as the co-host, and we are going to try our best to represent. And we are also presenting this Balancing Life session on behalf of our Human Development Program team here in Virginia, along with our partners in North Carolina Cooperative Extension. I am thrilled to introduce to you Reggie Morris. He was once upon a time my co-worker in Virginia Cooperative Extension, and excited that he has moved on to a really awesome program called Capital Youth Empowerment Program. And Reggie is going to speak to us this morning on a topic that I think we could all use some help with: family communications. Reggie, what you got for us this morning? Really excited to see you, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Bethany. Thank you, Herman. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on this call this morning. It's Friday, so we're going to have a good time. We're here for a short time, but it's going to be a great time today. If you all give me a moment to pull my screen up, I want to prompt you with an early morning chat question. I got a little information before I jumped on this call, and I just want to do some research to see if it's true. Everybody out there, I want you to do me a favor. Think about someone in your life that you consider a father or a father figure. It could be multiple people. And drop those names in the chat as I get ready to pull up my screen. I'll explain why at the end of my presentation. Herman, Bethany, my slides are up. Is that correct?
Looks great, Reggie.
All right.
Yep.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Reggie Morris, and I have the honor of serving as the Workforce Development Director and Career Coach for Capital Youth Empowerment Program. But today I'm a 4-H'er. I will always be a 4-H'er. Everything that I do goes back to 4-H, and I'm so happy to be back here with my extension family. Thank you all for the opportunity to share today. Now, I want to start out by being honest with you all. If you think you've arrived at the holy grail of family communication secrets, this ain't it. I can promise you, though, that I'm going to give you 30 minutes of good Friday energy. I want you to have a mindset of reflection, accountability, and good old-fashioned hard work, because when it comes to family communication, that's what it's all about. So get your minds together, take a deep breath. If you haven't had your coffee yet, it's too late now because I don't want you to miss anything. We're going to have a good time. Are you ready?
Well, I'm ready.
I'm definitely ready.
Me too. So like I said, my name is Reggie Morris, and I work with Capital Youth Empowerment Program. I told you today that I'm a 4-H'er, but I'm also Daddy Reg. Don't let the sweatshirt confuse you. I just picked up the wrong one. Mine says Super Dad, but I have a super mom along my side that helps me out. I want to introduce you all to my family because they're the motivation for what it is that I'm going to talk to you about today. My lovely wife, Natisse, is my rock, my partner, my accountability. But I got some 2 lovely babies. Reggie Jr., that is me in another body. And it's crazy to see yourself outside of yourself. And it's crazy how much yourself aggravates yourself. But I also have my baby girl, Camden. That's my heart. And I will tell you all that I love my family with everything inside of me. The love does not always cover everything. Every single day, we're working. We're working to practice our communication skills. But y'all know some days are better than others. Healthy family communication goes a long way in putting your family in a place to be happy and prosperous, but it takes work. In the chat, can everybody share with me your working definition of communication? What does communication mean to you? You don't have to give me the Webster Dictionary. Tell me what it means to you. And as they're coming in, Herman, I'm going to ask you to share some of those comments. For myself, when I think about family communication, I think about spontaneous talk. Spontaneous talk is that communication when nobody's really working at communicating. You're just talking. You're just listening. You're just enjoying each other's company. You all saw my lovely children, 2 young children. That means my home is full of spontaneous communication. As an adult, it's incredibly frustrating. And I know that you all have been in moments like that as well. But I've also realized that I have to be careful how I communicate my frustration, because it may come out as disrespectful, closed-minded, and not very kind. And that's the opposite of what it is that you see on your screen and what positive communication is in the home. Well, I want to challenge you, be mindful, because what you may deem as an adult as spontaneous is something that your child has been thinking about all day long. We have to be able to be in a space to learn and adapt to everyone in our household's communication styles, but especially younger people, because they're learning from you. And I think everybody on this call decided to get on this call because you believe that you're a steward of positivity. And so let's lead by example. Herman, can you share 1 or 2 of those definitions for me?
Okay, I was wondering if you wanted me to chime in, but just as you were saying that, Nicole Rackley, I think it is, said expressing your expectations respectfully with your family.
Like that.
Then Linnell said, talking about the day we had, responsive, empathetic, and really listening, information shared and understood, open lines, feeling free to say what's in your heart, understand the other person's point of view, which was the first thing that I thought about when I communicate. How lots of times I don't even understand what the person is talking about, and I go off talking about something else, and that's not what I meant. Hearing and understanding what's being said before speaking, being able to share. I mean, it goes on and on, Reg. I mean, I could take 20 minutes to read all of these.
I want to say, did y'all get a sneak peek of my preview, my presentation? Because some of those things are tenets that we're going to talk about later on in this conversation. But I'm glad to see that you all have that inside of you. That's one of the secrets to life. Everything we need is already built inside of us. You may have to sharpen it. You may have to practice it. You may have to repair it. But everything you need to be successful is inside of you. But a lot of times we don't spend the time with ourselves. The word selfish has a negative connotation. We need to be a little bit more selfish. Selfish in that we're taking time to nurture and build up ourselves. Selfish in the fact that we are able to say, you're not doing what you need to do and make changes. But we need to learn to be healthily, that's not even a word, selfish. But y'all know what I'm talking about. From my perspective, communication is a very, very simple thing. It is an active thing and simply takes place when you are sending and receiving messages. Sending and receiving. That's two-way. Effective communication is a critical part of everyone's life. We are right now being communicated to in a variety of different ways. I know some of you are looking at my gestures. Some of you are hearing my voice. Some of you may see my background or reading the chat. Those are a variety of different messages, and we all interpret them in different ways. Our communication skills influence our relationships, particularly those in our families, because we communicate with them the most often. And they also seem to get our authentic communication. Now, I use the word authentic and not the best, because I know for myself, sometimes my family sees the worst of me because they really see me. Good communication helps build up those relationships when times are good, but more importantly, good communication gives a foundation when times are not so good. These skills require listening as well as speaking. If you look on the screen, there are some powerful numbers. And I just want to point out that when we think about communication, it's not just what we're saying. As a matter of fact, our nonverbal cues, our posture or facial expression, that's 55% of what it is that people are interpreting. How many times have you, not how many times, have you ever been in a situation where you said something and the response that you got was totally different than the intention in which you delivered that message? Something got mixed up with your cues. Your voice and tone is also important. I know for myself, and when I'm communicating with my children and my wife, I have to work on my tone. Not necessarily in a negative sense, but sometimes my tone may say that I really don't want to talk about what you're talking about. And that's not being respectful to them in the home. In words, it's only 7%. Only 7%. It's a pie. Everything mixed together and you get your communication. I say all of that to just remind you, we are communicating all the time. It's like the hot light at Krispy Kreme, except it never turns off. Be careful. You want to make sure that you're sending out the best product. And just for 5 seconds, I want you to genuinely ask yourself, what message am I sending? I love sports, everyone. Love sports. Not the most athletic, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Basketball season just started on Tuesday night, and I found myself in the basement jumping up and down like I scored the winning bucket. But one of the reasons why I enjoy sports is because they are a collective effort. Even our individual sports like golf and tennis, those individuals have a team of people. They resonate with the crowd. They depend on the umpire to make the right calls. We're all connected. So today, I want to share with you my starting 5 basketball reference for family communication. Number 1, we communicate daily with our families. I've said that about 6 times now, hence the importance of me getting that message. You're sending them messages back and forth. No matter if you're the sender or the receiver, you are the one that's in control. If there's nothing else that you take from this lesson today, communication in your family, outside of your family, you can only control what you can control. That accountability is a great place to start. I'm going to challenge you to send respectful messages and display respect when you're receiving messages. Try not to pass blame on other people and be comfortable enough to know when the blame falls on your doorstep. That silent game or the look, that may be your go-to move when you're in a place of discomfort, but know that those things have long-lasting effects on your family and on your kids. We have to be the catalyst of change before we expect anybody else to change. Number 2, communication in families doesn't always produce agreement on important issues. We are in a time right now in our country where it's this or that, you or I, and it doesn't have to be that way. In your family, there's a collection of different personalities, likes, dislikes, and traits. It is insane for you to have an expectation that everything is going to be on one accord. We're all unique, and we all look at the world in a different way. If you can learn to agree, but not be disagreeable, you're cooking with hot oil. And I please believe you can make a little bit of money, because that secret is invaluable. when you're in a situation where you're having a conversation with a family member or even a coworker, you got to ask yourself, is this battle really something that has to be won? Or is it an opportunity for me to grow and gain another perspective? I'm not telling you not to fight, because we have to stand up for ourselves. And communication is a great tool for you to stand up and get the things that you need. But every single battle is not worth fighting. And you also have to understand that sometimes people are willing to fight a little bit harder than what you think. You lose more in the war than you do in not stepping up to the plate. For number 3, I like to call this extreme listening. Right now, I hope that everybody is listening to me, but I know life is full of distractions. I had to flip my phones over and put them on silent, because if the light goes off, I'm going to lose track of something. People often focus on the sending aspect of communication, and they never spend time developing the receiver. I am a victim of that. I have been blessed with the ability to talk and feel comfortable in front of people, as I'm doing right now, but I don't always do the best job in listening. There's a reason why on your body you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, because the things that are coming into you are just as important, if not more so, than what it is that you're letting out of your mouth. But listening is more than just hearing words. It involves focus and reflection, and the simple want to. I mentioned to you all that I am not the best listener. And part of it is I'm tired. Part of it is my life is busy. But none of those things are excuses. Because when my son comes home with his homework and he's excited because he's now finally figured out how to get that hump in the H just right, he doesn't care about all of that. He wants me to congratulate and support him. When my wife is frustrated because her supervisor isn't listening to her, who would I be to follow that same behavior and not be able to be a sounding board for her? I'm working on not jumping ahead. Oftentimes in conversations, we're already prepared our response before the person finishes saying what it is they need to say. And I know for me, it's not thing that I do with intent. My mind just works like a treadmill. But sometimes I got to step off of it because my intent is intentionally disrupting somebody else. And that's something that I want to do to work on myself. I can't sit here and tell you all these steps if I'm not willing to put in the work of my own. Number 4, and this one is my special one. Speak from your heart and listen from your heart. The intersection of our personal and professional lives is growing closer and closer and closer. I am literally right now in my basement presenting to you all. We all have a desire to share with people. Why not be in a place where your families are the ones that you're sharing your most intimate details? As I was preparing for this presentation, I was doing a little research and I read a story about a woman who was sharing that she was worried about her husband. He had recently retired, and like many men in life, his work was a big part of his life. And now that that piece was gone, he didn't have any motivation. He seemed to be depressed, and she was worrying that he was developing an alcohol problem. But the crazy part about that is she told that information to a complete stranger, somebody who just happened to be sitting beside her on the plane and said, "How are you doing?" See, there was a need for her to communicate that, but that message that she told her passenger was really directed towards her husband. If we can figure out a way to unlock our hearts and develop that connection with our families where we're not afraid to be vulnerable with them, it would make life a lot easier. And we're not having these heart-to-heart conversations every single day. But if you're ready, you don't have to get ready. Because when it's time to have those conversations, you want to be in a place to discuss those things with your family members and move forward. My last starting 5 is the language of love. And this is not here for me to sell the 5 love languages book, but more so to tell you, learn your family. We all have preferences. Our communication style is no different. Learn what it is that your families like to do in terms of communication, but also learn yourself. For me, I am a person of words of affirmation. I need to hear that I'm doing well, that you love me, that you care about me. And I share that with other people. That's my love language. But I'm learning more and more and more in my family that may not be what the love language is for them. And I need to adapt and grow so I can present to them and make sure the messages that I'm sharing are hitting their mark. And for my kids, I'm still learning their languages. They're still developing their preferences. Here's a set of ground rules that I want you all to take with you. Set aside some time for family discussions. In our home, meal times are very important, very important. Important in the sense that we're all together in one place. There's no distractions. We have eliminated the tablets. Whew, Jesus, that was hard. But we got them out of there. And every day we talk. Some days it's a 2-minute conversation. Some days it's a 30-minute conversation, but it's an intentional time. And set up these family discussions when things are going well, not only when in times of crisis. Respect everyone in your family's thoughts and feelings. Age, life status doesn't matter. Everybody needs to feel like they're valuable, and invite everyone. There's no such thing as a bad idea. There may be ideas that you don't agree with, though, and that's fine. But communicate your disagreement respectfully. Ask questions instead of jumping to conclusions, because conclusions end stories without you learning all the plot points. And listen. I'm a big believer in positive energy. If you think things are good, most of the times they are. But if you think they're bad, most of the times they are. And then last but not least, I said this earlier, you can't agree on everything. I got 6 minutes left. Oh, cooking, boy, cooking. I'm sure that you all will get access to this presentation. So there's a video that I was going to show you. It was just more so I could have another communication channel to communicate with you. I will include it in the resources that I send out, but this is a work day, so I have to do a little bit of work. Before I get to that, though, I want to conclude. I told you I wasn't going to break any news today. I don't think anything that I said should be new to you or foreign, but sometimes we have to say things out loud to make them real. I hope that there is something in this conversation that you can embody and that you can employ with your family members, because I do know that good communication, it builds a strong foundation. I know that my family is running at high gear when we're communicating well, and we're struggling when we're not. And that's 1000% real. There was a reason that Crystal, Dr. Tyler-Mackey asked me to join today, because not only am I presenting this presentation, I needed this word for myself. We all do great work in extension, or if you're connected in extension and we're out helping other people, but we often lose sight that we need the help as well. Don't pour your joy into somebody else if you're not pouring that same joy into yourself. I mentioned to you all that I work for Capital Youth Empowerment Program, and we have a dynamic program. I'm going to remove myself so you can see this QR code behind me. Fathers in Tech is a great program, and it's for all fathers. I asked originally to do a presentation on fatherhood, and I was told that this audience isn't fathers, but I'm here to tell you this. Everybody is a father. At the beginning, I asked you to share a list of names, and I can't see the chat, but I'm more than certain that there were some names in there. So that means that fatherhood is important to you. If you have a dad or know a dad that's looking for some parenting skills, looking for an opportunity to take their job to a career, or just looking for a group of people to share their story, it's Fathers in Tech. Talk to me, come see me. It doesn't matter where you live because we live in a Zoom world now. So everybody can participate. We have a class starting up next week. No, 2 weeks from now, November the 2nd. I will be glad to share more information, and I will be glad to give you a full presentation. Just give me a call or send me an email. I want to thank you all so much for your attention today. I wish that I could see everybody because I like communication, that nonverbal communication, your body language, your all of that. But in my heart of my hearts, I know that this word was for somebody today and somebody got it. I am getting ready to turn the floor back over to my gracious host today. But again, I say thank you. I miss you all, Miss Extension, but it's always in my heart. Have me back again soon because I love this balancing life. Got to share my references because I didn't make up all this stuff. And with that being said, I am good to go.
Thank you so much, Reggie. I can't even keep up with this chat box right now because everyone is just pouring in the kudos, pouring in the need for this reinforcing message. And yeah, you didn't break any giant news to us, but you certainly gave a good spin on it and uplifted some things. And for a lot of folks, it looks like you're reminding them of things that we might take for granted, right? And you've reminded us today, don't take it for granted, work on it, keep working on it. You're working on it. We should all be able to take something from this presentation, no matter what your family structure looks like, whether you're all by yourself in the home, you've got family or friends that are family to you that you need help communicating with. And so it's resonating in the chat for sure. So I am so grateful to you for coming on and being with us this morning. And that's that message that you said about working on the receiving part of communication. That's the nugget I'm taking with me today. So thank you, Reggie. What about you, Herman?
Yeah, just about everything that popped up. It's one of those things, Reggie, that when you said speak from the heart, lots of times I will speak from the head instead of the heart because I'm trying to figure out, well, what should I say, as opposed to just saying what's in my heart. And it comes from lots of times just the fear of, I don't want to upset anybody, and so I'm trying to figure out how do you get that balance between what saying what's on your heart and not saying something that's really going to, now we're in the midst of a big disagreement, big argument, and it ruined the whole night or ruined the whole day.
I'll tell you, Herman, in response to that, and this is for everybody, you can't control what's in somebody else's heart. You can only control what's in yours. You know what the intention is of what you're saying. May not feel the best, but I'm not coming from a place of malice. But if you take that in your heart, that's your burden to carry and not mine. One of the most powerful things that has ever been said to me, Bethany and I were in Senegal, and I would find myself floundering sometimes trying to figure out if what I'm saying is resonating with the group. And our colleague Benta pulled me to the side and she said, Reggie, what you don't understand is it doesn't matter if people understand you from a language standpoint. They feel what you're saying from your heart. And that resonates with people. That's it. Y'all, this has been amazing. The energy I feel, you filled my tank. I got to get off here because I will cry. I will cry. Fatherhood has just got me all emotional. So thank you so much again for the opportunity to be here today. And I wish everybody a great, great, great weekend. Be safe, everybody. Be safe.
Thank you so much, Reggie. We're going to get you out of here before you get too worked up. I just want to thank everyone on behalf of Dr. Crystal Tyler-Mackey, from myself and Herman, and especially on behalf of the Human Development Program team. Thank you to Reggie. And we will be sending out the recording of this session, so be on the lookout for that. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
All right, you too. Thanks, Reggie.
Thank you, guys. Great seeing you.
All right, see you, Bethany. Thank you.